I was never a college athlete. Obviously, I worked with a lot of college athletes, but I didn't get that like locker room camaraderie brotherhood thing in college. And so like
Mhm.
for me, I feel like deer camp is my locker room. It's like that's where the guys go. And like we're gonna mess with each other, we're gonna tease each other, but like at the end of the day, it's like it's all out of love and we're just having a great time together.
The In Creation podcast is brought to you by QAD, Quality Archery Designs.
If you want to talk about a partnership that is rooted in faith, this is one. QAD is on mission for God. And it was one of the first upgrades that I ever made to the first bow that I had. I got the HDX, and now I'm rocking the MX2 on both of my bows.
I've been bow hunting for the last 8 years, and 6 of the last 8 years, I've had a QAD arrow rest on my bow. So if you want equipment that is proven to work in the field, we trust Team QAD. All right, welcome to the In Creation podcast, episode 17, where we talk all things Christ and our obsession for bow hunting and archery.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. We just want to remind you to follow or subscribe, depending on the platform you're listening on. Leave us a review, a rating, drop a comment, let us know how we're doing. And we want to get this podcast out to more bow hunters, outdoorsmen, and believers to just be an encouragement. And Ryker, if they've got more questions on anything, what else should they do?
Yeah, you guys should text True Life to 97,000. That's going to send you a text link to your phone. Click on that link. It's just going to give you more resources about the gospel in your hands.
Well, Ryker, today we do have a guest on, Jared Pettitte. He was an athlete of mine back in the day, and he's going to join us from Dude Perfect Outdoors. So, Jared, join us, man.
What's going on, y'all? Thank you for having
What's
me.
up? Yeah, I got the hat on and everything.
Yeah,
Dude,
yeah.
it's a pretty sick logo too. I like it.
I know we kind of went back and forth on if we were going to do the antlers or not. We went through a couple different options and I had to do the antlers.
Had to do it. Looks too good.
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost
Well,
like that
hey,
stash. You just got to do it.
you got to do it, man. Yeah.
I'm going to be back out now. I'm going back out.
No, dude, that is a sick stash, man. You
I
gotta
know. I got to start now. I need like I got to get like a 2-month head start before hunting season to grow it out. You know, it just doesn't grow.
No, that's
quick enough.
fair.
I got to start now.
Yeah, that's fair. Well, Jared, we've got kind of a prior relationship. You were an athlete at DBU, played baseball there. But for people who obviously are listening and you know, you just met my brother here, Ryker, give us some background on you personally.
Yeah, so I mean, me personally, I'll try to keep it as short as possible. Basically, my whole life has been, uh, in the center of. I grew up in a Christian household, with very strong, believers in my family. My grandpa was a pastor for 40 years, and 3 of my uncles were preachers, and then my mom sang in the church for the longest time, and obviously, my dad as well is strong believer, and then that kind of leads me into my dad, and he played professional baseball for the Yankees and the Astros for it was either 18 or 19 years. I always get it mixed up, but really long. Yeah, just a couple. So I grew up baseball was like my life, man. Like just
Yeah.
it's all I ever knew. Just I was able to be in the clubhouse a lot and that sort of thing. So from a young age, that's literally all I wanted to do was play baseball. Literally that is it. And I was blessed enough to be able to go play college baseball at the University of Houston. Did 4 years, had a couple of elbow surgeries, so didn't get to play much. And then COVID happened, and then that's where you and I met Al,
Yep.
at transferred to DBU for 1 year, and genuinely was like the best year of my life. Had the greatest group of guys, loved the coaching staff, and we were able to make a little bit of a run. It was a little bit of a grind for me that year as far as pitching goes. A lot of ups, a lot of downs. I think more downs than ups, but uh, yeah. And then after that, I was able to sign as a free agent with the Marlins and did that for 2 years before my labrum started to go. And I was just like, dude, I've already had 2 elbow surgeries. I know how hard it is to come back from a labrum surgery. I never wanted to be one of those guys, and no knock on those guys that, try to make it, grind it out until they're 30 years old, really just trying to make it to the big leagues. That's not something I really cared to do, So once my labrum started to tear, I was like, okay, I'm 24 at this point. Let's just go ahead. hang it up. Let's move on with my life. I wanted to try to start, making a little bit of a living, just for my family one day whenever that happened. So yeah, I did
Wait,
that.
minor league baseball players? They're professional athletes. They don't make like millions
They
of
don't make
dollars.
they don't make good money.
Oh,
I
weird.
think I was getting paid like $800 every like 2 weeks or something like that, maybe. Um, or maybe not even 2 weeks. It may have been for the whole month. I think it was for the whole month
I was
actually.
gonna say the
Yeah, I
month
think
probably
it,
Like
sounds
2
more.
weeks, yeah, I was going, it ain't terrible, but yeah, it's for the whole month. I think I was making like $800. But anyways, so yeah, and then now I'm, like I got out of pro baseball, had a sales job for a little bit, and then Tyler Tony asked me, I've been friends with him for about 10 years, and he asked me if I wanted to come on and join Dude Perfect Outdoors full time as he was trying to get it started, just needed someone to be full time, since he's got main channel obligations. And I mean, like without hesitation, quit my job, moved to the Frisco area and started doing this full time. And now we've been doing it for 7 months almost. And it's been absolutely unreal. Like, I mean, it would be good, but we didn't know how quickly it would be this good, So it's been an absolute blast, and God is just like seriously, God's hand has been on this thing from the very beginning, and it's showed big time.
Yeah.
it,
So you were living in Houston at that time, and then kind of got the call up to Dallas for Dude Perfect.
Yeah, so I was living in Dallas for 2
Okay.
years and then moved back to Houston. I was trying to figure out what I was gonna do. I was gonna just move back to Houston and do the sales job from there. And I think I was back in Houston for maybe like a month, and Tyler called me. And so moved right back up to the Dallas area for that.
That's awesome. So was
Yeah.
this something like for Tyler? Was this something that he had been wanting to do for a long time?
Yeah, so yeah, Tyler, he's been coming out on the ranch for the last 10 years, and
Yeah.
that's how we grew this friendship, and probably the last 3 years, he's been talking like, "Gosh, all I wanna do, I wanna start this outdoor channel, like, it's my passion, like, I wanna start it, and I would love for y'all to be able to join me if I can, if we can get this thing going. It's gonna be really tough to get it going, but, like, like it would be he's just been talking. Yeah, he's been talking about it for about 3 years now. And honestly, 3 years had passed and it was kinda out of sight, out of mind, didn't even think anything of it. And then just out of the blue one day, he called and was like, "Hey, do Perfect
We're
Outdoors, let's do it."
we're doing
Yeah,
it.
let's do it. Oh, thank the
That,
Lord.
that's
that's
incredible,
awesome.
dude. Heck
Yeah,
Yeah,
man,
yeah.
I was
well,
getting tired of sitting behind a desk.
yeah. But going back to baseball, so I got loads of questions. One, so growing up, obviously baseball was a huge part of you and your family. How was that relationship when it came to like baseball and Christ? Because I know, especially at one point, because I played some college baseball in my career or in my life, baseball is almost an idol. Like we loved it so much, and it took such a priority in my life that I 100% put it over, faith and friends or whatever. How was that relationship with you guys? Because, like you said, you've had, your mom singing in the choir, and your family was pretty in tune with the church. So, how was that relationship with you, Jared?
Yeah, I mean, I think from an early age, my dad played a huge part in that, in
Hmm.
making sure that baseball wasn't my entire life and my identity. He always told like him being a pro baseball player, he could easily been like, "That's all I want for my kids is to be pro athletes," and
Hmm.
he definitely wanted us to do that if we wanted to, but he always made sure he told us. I mean, I can't even tell you how many times he told us to whatever we do, like, if we don't wanna play baseball, we don't have to play baseball. He was just like, "Whatever y'all do, if y'all don't wanna play it, don't play it. Like, I want you
Hmm.
to do whatever you love, and whatever you do, all I care about is that you do it for the Lord and that you love the Lord more than anything." And so, from an early age, that was always instilled in me and my brothers and sister. Um, and so I think once I got into college ball, I think I think, looking back at it now, once when you're in all these injuries, like when I had Tommy John surgery my freshman year, I was potentially going to be a weekend starter as a freshman, and it was like a huge blow to me. Like I was like, oh my gosh, like are you kidding me? Like, I never had an arm problem in my life, and now I blew out in a bullpen, like literally just throwing a nice easy bullpen,
Hmm.
and you know, you're in the moment, you're thinking like, why is this happening? You know, why? And then, you know, recover from that. And during my recovery and doing my rehab starts for that, my ulnar nerve is like I can't even like straighten my elbow hardly like after my outings just because my ulnar nerve was so like
Mm.
wow and tight. And so they had to go back in and do another surgery on that. And that was like another year long rehab. So I'm like, goodness gracious, like what is happening? You know, like but then
Yeah.
you're thinking like, okay, well, you know, baseball, this might not work out for me. You know what I mean? Like
Mm.
it's just it happened with my brother. He had 4 elbow surgeries, and I'm like, this is a very real possibility that baseball is not gonna work out for me. So, I really had to, like, sit down and think about, you know, where my priorities were, and definitely at that time, my freshman and sophomore year, like, baseball was definitely at the forefront of everything. Um more than I would, you know, wish it would have been. I definitely, you know, if I could go back, would have made sure that I wouldn't have put so much pressure on myself and definitely had not made it such an idol in my life at that point in time.
Mm.
But yeah, I think those injuries really allowed me just to kind of step back and kind of look at the overall like outlook of what I wanted my life to look like. And ultimately it just came down to the fact that it was always kind of what my dad had told me, like I kind of realized that I was making it my idol and I was super down in the dumps about this injury, which is fine. You can be down in the dumps about it because if you're passionate about something, you know, it's important to you. But it was like to the point where it was kind of affecting relation, not like too much, like in a bad way, but it was
Yeah.
definitely affecting overall like attitude towards things. And so, yeah, it just allowed me to really step back and take a look at it. And it kind of changed my perspective on it. Um, as far as on a performance level goes or whatever it might be, relationship level, uh, it allowed me to kind of take a little bit of ease off and a little bit of pressure, just knowing that, you know, if baseball doesn't work out, I'm gonna be fine. You know, all I care about at this point is making sure that my relationship to my family is good and make sure that my relationship with the Lord is where it needs to be and at the forefront of everything. And then going to DBU, you know, going to DBU was like the best thing that could have happened for my faith. Um, because going to U of H, there were some, you know, we had good guys in the locker room and stuff, but you know, we weren't able to, you know, we didn't have like Bible studies going on or anything like that, and it was definitely more of like a worldly kind of atmosphere for the most
Mhm.
part. And so going to DBU was like the best thing that could have happened to me. Coach Hefner, guys like Al and all these other coaches, just, you know, strong believers that are really pouring into you every day and preaching. Like I remember he was always preaching, just whatever you do, don't make baseball your identity. It'll let you down every single time, no matter what. And so I think just I had all these men in my life that were saying the same thing. And it just allowed me to really like, okay, I see these great godly men. They're telling me for my entire life not to put my identity in this game because it'll always let me down. And maybe I should listen to this. You know what I mean? You know, while I'm through it, you know, everyone's had their different experiences, but at the end of the day, like they've all gone through the same things that I've gone through. There's probably some validity to it. And then, you know, I go play minor league ball and my shoulder starts to hurt and I need a, you know, shoulder surgery eventually. I would needed a shoulder surgery eventually. And it's like, you look back and like, man, like I'm so glad these men were pouring into me and making
Yeah.
sure the Lord was my number one priority and not making baseball my idol because literally just a couple years later, I'm like, my baseball career is ending. And it genuinely was such an easy transition for me. Like I had no issue at all leaving the game of baseball. I think just because I was
Mhm.
for so long. So yeah, I mean that's really the biggest thing. And
Well, and
it's
you're talking about guys like your dad and Heath and, you know, a bunch of other coaches who are highly successful in baseball, like whether it was a playing career or coaching career, who are
yeah,
telling you like, "Hey, don't put your identity in this. It's going to let you down every time." It's not Joe Schmo who, you know, holds his small town high school home run record or something like that,
yeah,
who
Yeah.
hasn't had an identity in baseball since he was 17. Like
yeah,
these are guys who've been full-time career for, you know, 15, almost 20 years telling you, "Hey, don't
yeah,
put your identity in it," you know, because
exactly.
they've been there and they know that, hey, it comes to an end at some point.
Yeah, yeah, 100%.
Yeah, for sure.
So where did hunting come in for you? Like, is that something that your family has always participated in, or was it something that you guys all kind of grew into?
Yeah, no, hunting's been like hunting, it always for me was Jesus number one, family, hunting, baseball. Hunting was always hunting was
Good
always
priority
Yeah.
list.
yeah, hunting was always my number one, like, passion. Now, people ask me all the time, like, would you if you could go back and play baseball now, like, and if you could be completely healthy, would you do it? I'm like, "Yeah, 100%." I would I love what I do now, but, like, I would absolutely take that opportunity to go back and play. I miss it. I miss competing. I miss that whole thing. Um, but, yeah, I mean, my dad had us we have a ranch down in South Texas that we've had since I was born. We've had it for 28 years now, and so, baseball off season lines up perfectly with deer season, and
Hmm.
so, right as the baseball season would end, my dad would come home, and we'd just go basically, like, spend as much time as possible down at the ranch and just hunt and do all these sorts of things and fish and all that. And so, hunting and fishing and all that has been, like, way more, centered in my life than baseball ever was. Um, 'Cause it's just something that, I get to watch I got to watch my dad play baseball, but it's not
Hmm.
something I
Mhm.
get to do with him. Being
Yep.
able to being able to hunt with my dad, with my brothers, with my mom, with my sister, whatever it might be, like, that's way more important to me. And those moments and those memories are something that I'll cherish forever. And, you know, it's like, if I didn't hunt for a living, I wouldn't have this amazing job that I've got now, or if I didn't hunt my whole life, I wouldn't have this amazing job that I've got now. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I mean, the hunting aspect, my dad's he's been grilling that into us since we were born. Thankfully didn't need too much grilling. We just, ate it up. Um, I started bow hunting when I was, I think, 11, and right when I picked the bow up, I was ate up with it. I don't think
Mhm.
I've not gone back to a gun since. I mean, I've shot one here and there, but ever since I picked the bow up, it's like another level of addiction.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. I haven't either. I haven't picked up a gun.
Yeah.
I'm lying. I shot a doe with a muzzle loader like one time, but I don't
Yeah.
think I've picked up a normal rifle since I've picked up a
Yeah.
bow.
Yeah.
Well, since I started bow hunting, I've picked up a rifle a couple of times, and I shot Riker's muzzleloader once, but they've all been unsuccessful. Like, I've just had the absolute worst luck. Like, I don't know what's happening in my brain, but like it just doesn't compute for me anymore.
Mm-mm.
but but that's awesome, man. Like, it's cool to hear, coming from, your dad and your upbringing, where I could see it being like, hey, professional baseball player, and like we're saying professional baseball player, like, um, your dad was a star, like he was a heck of a ball player, and so to come from that level to come home and be like, hey, you know what, we're gonna go down to the ranch and we're gonna have a great time, we're gonna spend time as a family, like that's, in some weird way, that's comforting to me to know that it wasn't just like, hey, I know I just got done playing from, April to September, October, but I got to go back to work and work on the next season. Obviously you hit that period where you still have to work, but like it's good to know that that opportunity was given to you guys, that he took that
Yeah.
time. And I've had the brief opportunity to meet your dad, and I've met your brothers and your sister. And so kudos to him if he listens to this. Props to him, raising heck of a kids, man. Like all four of you, just exceptional, exceptional. Obviously, I know you the most, but just kind of in passing and stuff. And I got to spend. Lexi was at DBU. Was she there for 4 years?
He was there for 4 years, yeah.
Yeah, so I got to spend quite a bit of time seeing her in the weight room. But just y'all are phenomenal people,
Thank you,
absolutely
thank you.
phenomenal. Yeah, man. And so kudos to your dad and your mom raising some great kids. Um,
They whipped the
so
belt
you
out sometimes.
was that
They would whip the belt out, I think that's why we're
well, good.
yeah.
No gentle parenting for these kids,
Oh,
man.
no gentle
Yeah.
parenting in our household, no.
Hey, and also we can cut this out if we're not allowed to talk about it, but I think we are because you posted on social media. But congratulations, you
Thank
guys
you.
are about to have a baby.
Yeah, we are.
When are
January
y'all due?
due date.
January 13th,
15th. Yep. January
15th.
15th.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Nice.
awesome, man.
So excited, man.
Congratulations.
Thank
Do you
you.
guys
Yeah.
know what you're having yet?
No, we go tomorrow to do all the genetic testing and stuff like that.
Oh,
So we'll find out
oh,
in the next probably week or two. Yeah.
okay. Nice,
Yeah.
man. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Congrats.
So excited. I know.
So, you've mentioned, the ranch a few times, which this is what's crazy. So you got to DBU in 2021.
Yeah, it was a
Is that right?
2020, 2021 season. Yeah.
Okay. When did y'all, because you guys have an Instagram page
Yep.
for the ranch, Los Senderos.
Yep.
When did you guys start that?
Man, we probably started that in 2014, maybe 2015.
Well, dang. Okay.
I could be
'Cause
off
what-
on that.
What's crazy is, so I started kind of getting back into hunting and had that desire probably 2019, 2020. And I remember finding that page and I had followed it on Instagram. And then
Uh-huh.
like a year later, you come to DBU and I was like, at some point, I think you had a hat, the Los
Yeah,
Senderos
probably.
hat. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Like I followed that Instagram page and then somebody had mentioned like, oh yeah, like that's Jared's family's ranch. I'm like, bro, no way. So talk to us a little bit about the ranch because it is very unique. So
Yeah,
you said you guys have had it for 28 years.
Yeah.
Tell us about like that process from like when you guys got it to kind of how you're managing it now.
Yeah. So, I mean, oh man, I don't remember much of the early on stages just because they literally,
Sure.
my dad bought it the year I was born. And so I know it looks completely different now than it did when we bought it, obviously. Like when we bought it, it was thick, thick, thick South Texas brush, like long, long dirt roads. I mean, if you've ever been to a South Texas ranch or a South Texas property, you know what I'm talking about. It's like long roads for like miles on end, and then
Mhm.
just thick mesquite and thick cactus everywhere around it. And so, as time went on, it's a high fence ranch. It's 53, almost 5,300 acres. So it's a huge chunk. And this is like where I get in arguments with people all the time. They're like, "Oh, you're hunting high fence."
That's not hunting.
And I'm like, it's not even like, I'm like, just come. I was like, and I always said, I'm like, I would love for you to come hunt this ranch and tell me
Yep.
how easy hunting is. I was like, because it's literally the opposite of easy. Like,
Well,
it's
also people are gonna sit there and be like, "That's not hunting; it's high fence." But the second you
Yeah.
drop an invite, they're like, "I'm there. I'll be there."
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Like, there's been years where I've really hunted the same buck for like 2 years without even seeing the deer.
Yeah.
It's a big chunk of, it's a big chunk of land. We're very blessed and very fortunate to have it. But it also, with it being high fenced, and that much land, we're able to really like, be strategic on how we hunt and how we do things on the property. And
Mhm.
so, we have a very strict management program where, we're taking off a certain amount of buck every year, shooting a certain amount of doe every year. And we shoot so many, dude. I think we have to shoot like 120 a year or something like that.
That's
And so
crazy.
it's too much like meat to even handle. And so we'll donate a lot of the meat to families in town and stuff that would, love to have it. So that's like an awesome piece of it. But as far as like the management part of it goes, yeah, like it looks completely different now. We've cleared out so much of these mesquites and cactus and stuff in some of these areas. We've started to do roller chop fields. We're feeding protein, cottonseed, and that we've seen a huge, and honestly, we've seen the biggest jump when we started doing the roller chop fields, which basically, if someone doesn't know what a roller chop field is, it's you basically go over this brush with a roller chop. It completely takes the brush down, cuts it all up, gets all the way down to the soil, turns the soil, and it grows these, just new vegetation that is like absolutely amazing for these animals. And so
Nice.
we started doing that. We saw a huge growth as far as antler goes, body size. So that's been like one of the biggest things that we've done. But yeah, I mean, it's just, the place is just amazing. We don't sell hunts. we're not in it to like
Right.
make money or anything like that. It's a place strictly for family and friends to come down and just enjoy their time. And that's really what it's been. It's just been a place for us to go decompress, get away from the world, and just enjoy our time with our family and our friends.
The In Creation podcast is brought to you by Kool-Aid Archery.
Man, this feels so good. We had Bo on the podcast not long ago, and I've been shooting these Ngulubi 5 mil arrows for about 2 months now at this point, and I've been absolutely impressed with them. Running about 8 GPI and a 300 spine, which is really impressive. I've got a 50 grain steel insert here that comes with it, and it also comes with this 25 grain collar that you can throw up on the top of it. Like I said, incredibly impressed.
Yeah, the 1K and the 3K centrifugal weave just really gives that shaft the durability. And make sure you go check out their whole lineup at KoolAidArchery.com. And if you want a little bit of a discount, check out the link in the description below. Nice. Well, I got a question. You guys, with that much land, you definitely have your own like herd DNA. Like you can definitely do some work and affect the health of the herd. Do you score deer?
Yeah,
This is where I'm getting at. Okay, what's the biggest you've taken off the ranch recently?
The biggest was what was it? It was I don't want to be wrong. I think it was 238.
Dude, that's wild. I bet it. Oh my gosh. No freaking way. Look at that thing. I couldn't imagine even seeing that thing. And here, like asking you what it scored, some people get goofy about that, but it's like you look at something like that, dude. How do you not want to know? How do you just not
Yeah.
take a take to it, you know?
It's crazy because, you know, we've had some deer that like we've never brought in genetics.
Mhm.
But I don't know what the guy did before us, but I don't think he did either. But yeah, I mean, pure South Texas genetics, and yeah, when you think of like 238, you just think of like just craziness and ugly
Mhm.
looking deer, you know. But yeah, that deer was like, I think I don't even remember what it was, but we were watching that deer for probably 4 years. I think we kinda started, like, really looking at him when he was, like, 4 years old, like, "Oh, this deer could be huge."
Mhm.
And we always try to let our deer, just and I know not everybody can do this, and that's why I'm, like, very grateful and fortunate for the place that we have. We always try to let them get to 7 or 8 years old. That's just when we know, you know, we've kind of realized that that's their biggest and healthiest, um, as far as antler growth goes.
Yeah,
Uh,
so y'all put out a video, I can't remember when, but on Dude Perfect Outdoors YouTube, it was the South Texas deer
yep.
hunt video. And I'm pretty sure Tyler was like, there's a rule at the ranch, like nothing under 7 years old. And I'm like, bro, that's the
Yeah.
rule. Like, holy crap.
If it's a
Those are
nice
old
deer
deer.
if it's a nice deer, like, if it's a buck, if it's 150 inches plus, you know, at 6 years old, 5 years
Mhm.
old, we're not shooting it. We're
Yeah.
gonna wait for it to get to 7 years old, and sometimes it doesn't work out. Sometimes they go downhill, sometimes they die,
Yep.
we never see them again.
And I'm sure you have
But
culls where like at, 4 or 5 years old, they're 130. It's like, okay,
yeah,
we're
exactly.
probably
So
not
we're
making a
shooting
huge jump.
yeah, exactly. So we'll shoot, like, you know, we don't shoot too many 3-year-olds, but we'll shoot a couple that are just like 'cause, dude, we still have I mean, we have monsters out there, but we also have deer
Mhm.
that are, I mean, just
Dinks.
absolute
Yeah,
birds, yeah.
yeah.
And so, but yeah, we really if they're 4 or 5 years old and they're, you know, they're on the smaller end or, you know, they're s on the smaller end and bullying other deers around, it's like
Mm.
and we'll kind of talk about shooting them, but, yeah, we 7 or 8 years old is when we kinda that's the limit for a big buck.
Because I think the part that a lot of people don't consider, like we're talking about genetics, right? But there's also the aspect of you mentioned like you have to take a certain number of deer off the landscape, period. Just I'm assuming from habitat standpoint, food, cover, all of that, and even just the population density of deer in that area. Like there has to be a certain number that's taken off, and so it's like you're going to strategically position yourself to take the 4 or 5 year old 120 130 inch 8 point because that's probably all he's ever going to be, and now you can make room for something like that. Would you say it was
Yeah,
238?
238, yeah, and that was
Yeah.
my dad shot that one, I think 4 years ago, and we haven't gotten close to that again. That was
Yeah.
like a freak. Now, granted, we still shot absolute monsters, but
Yeah,
yeah, we haven't gotten close to that again. But
that's crazy.
also like something to consider too is like if you're down in this or wherever you are, it could, I mean, it could be anywhere, 5,300 acres is a lot of, it's a good chunk of land. And, you know, we're running, we do a survey every year where we fly a helicopter around and just do a guesstimate of like how many deer we think, we think that we've got probably 400 deer out there, 400 to 500, 450, somewhere around there. And so it's, if you think about it, there's really not that much deer. Like, it's not like you're going out. I'm not going out,
Yeah,
seeing 15, 20 deer, like
yeah,
there's hunts where I go out and I don't see anything.
yeah,
But it's just like sometimes, I mean, there's going to be big bucks coming around, but other people in our area that are, selling hunts and stuff, like they could be on 2,000 acres
hmm
and they're running like over 1,000 deer. And so,
yeah,
but
Mm.
good because they're selling hunts, so it's like, it's how they're making money. But so it's just like when people see that we're high fence and stuff like this, and they see some of the deer that we shoot, it's like they kind of have a perception, but the perception is a little different than what it actually is.
yeah,
Mhm. Well, take me into the high fence argument. So I'm sure people look at that and are like you said, "Oh, this is so easy. You're hunting a high fence ranch." Well, in my mind, it might be high fence, but it's also, what'd you say, 5,200 acres or something crazy?
Yeah, yeah.
Like that has to be that's hunting like our national forest public
yeah,
land up here from, I mean, that's what I would think. But take me into that argument, like, or how you guys hunt it, because I'm sure it is challenging, but the people who think in
Yeah.
their minds like, oh, it's high fence private land, South Texas. So
Yeah.
give me a little bit of your argument against that.
Yeah, I mean, like you just said, it's 52 to 5,300 acres. It's 98% of these deer will not see a fence in their lifetime. That's just the fact of it. They just
Mhm.
won't, they just
yeah,
won't. Um, and mainly they won't too, because like we have a huge, massive highway where there's just 18 wheelers driving all up and down this road anyway. So it's not like I've never even seen, like, there's low fences around us. I've never even seen a deer on the side of the highway. You know what I mean? Like they refuse to even cross it. And so, but also like from the other side too, I know there's a huge benefit to having a high fence. Like you don't have to worry about neighbors shooting a younger deer, potentially
hmm
crossing over or stuff like that. You get to manage it how you want. You don't have to worry about, this 3-year old that's an absolute giant as 3 years old. Maybe we can try to let him get to 6 years old and see how he looks, and then next thing you know, you never see him again because your neighbor shot him at 3 years old. Uh, so I know there's a huge benefit to it. But yeah, just as far as the hunting goes, like, just people think they're like pets and they're not wild and stuff like this. I've heard it all. And it's just like the furthest thing from the truth. I mean, they're as
Mhm.
wild as they get. And it is tough hunting because we have feeders out there, but for me and my brothers and my dad, when we bow hunt, we don't hunt at the feeder when we bow hunt, especially if we're, hunting for one of the big bucks, just because it
Mhm.
definitely makes it easier. I mean, people in Texas hunt at feeders all the time if it's not high fence, but it makes it easier hunting at a feeder. So we try to make it as an even playing field as possible for the deer.
Mhm.
Uh, and so it's like the only argument I have is like it's 5,200 acres, and I hope that doesn't come off at like sound like boastful or anything like that. It's just it is what it is,
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's just the fact of the matter is that deer is not going. 98% of them aren't going to see a fence in their lifetime. So that's really like I hunted a buck one year. This was, I think, 4 years ago. He was 8 years old at the time, and the first morning I hunted him, I was hunting him out of a tree stand, not over a feeder, and he was coming in pretty consistently to this one spot. And I'm sitting there in the tree stand. I see a buck coming from behind me. I kind of hear him grunting a little bit. And so, like, to set up the scene, I'm at a tree stand, kind of road going out right in front of me, long road down to the left that goes into this like roller chop field where I can't really see much. And then there's a kind of a road that roundabouts behind me. And this buck, probably a 7-year-old buck, comes grunting behind me. And so I turn my head to look to see what it is. It's not him, not the buck I'm hunting, but it's an old buck. And he starts to like fluff up as he starts to get closer in front of me. is this buck fluffing up right now?
Mm-hmm.
And I looked to my left, and it was the first morning I started hunting this buck. I looked to my left, and that buck is staring at me, the buck I'm hunting, like 15 yards away. And so I'm like, I can't move. And so now I got this buck to my right, the buck I'm hunting to my left, staring right at me. I can't move. And so then the buck I'm hunting fluffs up, and they kind of, but they're still like 10 yards away. And I'm in like a little 6-foot tree stand. I'm not like way up in the air. There's no high.
Well, I was going to ask you, where in the world are you putting a tree stand in South Texas?
Yeah. So it's like a 6-foot tripod stand, dude. So I'm basically like eye level with these deer, you know? And so they fluff up at each other, and the other buck kind of pushes the buck I was hunting back to about 45 yards into the roller chop behind some trees. I grab my bow, and he kind of just works his way off. And literally, that was the first morning I hunted him. I hunted him for the entirety of the rest of that year, probably 30 hunts. I would say. Did not see him once, not one time did I see that buck. Sorry, did not see him one time. And then Luke, my brother, during the rut, went to a spot probably 2.5 miles away from where I was hunting them, 3 miles away. And it was at a big pond. And he texted me. He's like, dude, we named him Krabs. He's like, dude, Krabs just stepped out in front of me. I'm like, no chance, dude. He's 3.5 miles away from me. Like, how's this even possible? But obviously he just chased a doe. And which is why I say that, because, that's the benefit of having that high fence, bigger property, that's somewhere else where maybe it's a neighboring property close by. That's when that happens. That buck chases that doe over and he gets shot and you never see him again.
Well, and like, even if you have, let's say 500 acres, right? That deer goes 3 miles away. You're not even getting trail cam pictures anymore.
No. Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
for all you know, he's either dead from a hunter, hit by a car, or he found somewhere else to live.
Yeah.
And
No,
you just never
exactly.
see him again.
Sure. Yeah. And so, exactly right. And so that night, that was a morning hunt. That night, I went to that pond and hunted that pond. And I am not kidding you. I hadn't seen him since that first hunt, 30 hunts before that. And that night, he comes walking out, entire main beam completely snapped off. Like, I'm talking literally like all the way, like he snapped like that much of his main beam off. And
Jeez.
so he came in, I'm not kidding, within 20 yards, ate in front of me for like 30 minutes. I just let him walk, dude. I was like, I'm going to let him. I don't want to shoot him all busted up like this. He literally had one side, I was like, I'm just going to roll the dice. Hopefully he makes it another year, makes it through the rut, gets to 9 years old, and I'll hunt him next year. And I got to hunt him next year, and it was like the same story, dude. Like, didn't see him for the first 20, 25 hunts that I hunted him. He was straight nocturnal. And then finally he came walking out, and like right at dark, and it was a head-on shot. But I was like, dude, I haven't seen this deer all year. Like, he's not, I genuinely, I was like, I'm not gonna again if I don't shoot. And so head-on shot, I shot right in the chest, got him. And then but yeah, it was a grind. And that's like just a little bit one of those instances where definitely the high fence comes into play, where it was definitely beneficial. But also, they'll usually, if they make it through the rut, if they run off onto a property, if they make it through the rut and they don't get shot by a neighbor or someone else, a lot of the times those deer will go back to their kind of core area where they usually instead, that's exactly what I've seen with those bucks. Like that buck, he went like literally a couple days later after the rut ended, he was back into that spot where I was hunting him in the beginning, So, I mean, they travel they can travel 3 miles like it's nothing. So,
you got to have does in different area codes, man.
That's for sure.
That's the way they work.
Yeah. The long answer, should have made that a shorter answer. Yes, high fence is beneficial for sure, but it is still very hard
It's still
hunting.
a challenge.
You're not running, 1,200 deer. You got deer just running everywhere, hunting over feeders 24/7. Yeah. So we try to make it, level playing field as possible, and still make it super challenging.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, we've kind of talked a lot about whitetails and stuff, but I know that you guys do a lot more than just whitetail hunting. I know, I think there's a duck hunting video, a dove hunting video up on the YouTube channel. And then there's no video associated with this as far as I know, but was it last year you got to go, was it Colorado?
Yeah.
for elk
Yep.
hunting.
Yep.
So tell us
Nice.
about some more of those other hunting pursuits,
Yeah.
the duck hunting and getting to go kind of out west.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I thought we actually kinda got bamboozled a little bit by Ty and the guys. They were like it was my understanding that this was gonna be like a, hunting and fishing channel as far as, deer hunting, elk hunting, stuff like that,
Yeah.
and, they've got me now getting into the ocean, l
I saw.
lobster
Yeah.
diving. We just
Yep.
got back from spearfishing in the Bahamas, uh, and if you know me, I hate the ocean. Genuinely do not, and mainly
I'm
just
the
the
same
sharks,
way.
like, I
Yeah,
just
I'm the
don't
same way.
I don't belong. I'm not that great of a swimmer. I can't hold my breath long at all, and I just don't like the feeling of, like, that deep, deep water not knowing what's about to come up at me,
Yeah,
and
well, we were in
Mhm.
Hawaii. I'd never been snorkeling before, but I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll jump in," and it wasn't even that deep. But like you're watching it, like you get so distracted. I see like these 5 sea turtles down on the bottom of the ocean floor, and then
yeah,
all of a sudden I just got this like uneasy feeling of like I can't see anything in my peripherals. I
yeah.
need to get out of the water right now.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, so that's what they've been making me do, man. It's like but honestly, the we didn't see a shark on the lobster diving video, which was great. But I knew we'd see some sharks in the Bahamas just because the shark capital of the world supposedly. And the guy
Mhm.
we were going with, he told us, he was like, "We're gonna see so many sharks, dude. Like, you shoot a fish and sharks come and try to get
Yeah,
that
it's
fish."
just gonna happen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So we did. We saw probably 50, maybe not that many, probably 40 sharks, in 3 days, and there was at one point, we had shot a fish, and we were fighting off, and when I mean fighting off, I literally mean fighting off 20 sharks. Literally
This is
stabbing them away with our spear poles and everything, so, uh, I got to see a different it was good, though, because I just thought every shark just comes and eats you, like, that's
right.
Mhm.
gonna get eaten, that's what I figured, but they're actually pretty chill, not like, no joke. We saw a tiger shark, probably 12-foot tiger shark, an absolute monster. He swam like just 10 feet in front of us while we were swimming, looking for fish. And he was just chilling, dude. He was just cruising, didn't care about us at all. So I think my uneasiness with sharks was definitely conquered. But anyways, on to like actual hunting stuff. Yeah, we did the elk hunt. That'll come out. We're still deciding on if we're gonna release that or not. Just because me, Josh, or Tyler, we didn't get an elk that actually I did shoot an elk. I don't want to spoil it, but um I did shoot an elk and it launched itself off of the mountainside into a river, and so
Oh, wow.
yeah, and we didn't realize it at the time, but, we had lost the blood trail, and it was, like, a huge drop off into this river, and I was like, "Dude," I was like, "I wonder if he fell in there, like, just dying," you know? And
Mhm.
then a couple days later, my, guide texted me a picture. He was on that same riverbank where we had left because they saw a black bear eating something,
Mhm.
and they went down there to try to get a shot at that black bear, and he sent me a picture. He's like, "Found your elk." I was like,
Oh my
"Dang, dude." I
gosh.
didn't get the
That
meat or
sucks.
yeah, I didn't get the meat or anything. But yeah, dude, it's been a blast. I mean, any hunting that we can do is like just the best. Like the dove hunt was so fun. Being able to go down there with the guys and do that for the first video was an absolute blast. The duck hunt was one of my favorite ones. Just getting to be with Josh Raggio, and I haven't been a huge duck hunter throughout my life. It's just something we haven't really done. We just always deer hunt during that time of the year. Um, but being able to go make a call with Josh Raggio, make our own calls, and then go use it, while
Yeah.
we're actually hunting ducks was an absolute blast. But yeah, I mean, we've gotten to meet some awesome people, while doing it, like Raggio. We've got a couple really cool partnerships that we got some cool opportunities that we're gonna do. We're gonna do a cool little thing with Montana Knife Company. They're one of our partners, and
Nice.
do the same kind of thing, build our own knife, and then, go on a whitetail hunt or whatever it might be, and, hopefully get a whitetail and then clean that whitetail with that knife that we built ourselves. So,
Heck yeah.
uh, yeah, a lot of cool stuff. A lot of cool stuff coming up.
The In Creation podcast is brought to you by First Form.
Hey, First Form, incredible products. I've been using them for a little over a year now personally. Started getting integrated with the First Form Outdoors team. back in August or so. Just phenomenal products. The OptiGreens, the Formula One Clear, the Enduraformance, been using them all. Incredible. Got to check them out.
Yeah, Form Energy and the Level 1 bars. Dude, I thought they tasted awesome. I still rock the first Form Energy, pretty consistently. So I thought they were great products. Funded our deer camp basically last year. So
kept us going out in the woods. Well, hey, if you want to get your own First Form products, be sure to check out the link in the description below. That's awesome, man. Heck yeah. Well, I don't know if Ryker's got anything else. I've got just one more thing. So you got the ranch down in South Texas. You guys have been hunting down there for as long as you can remember it, tell me a little bit about like the deer camp atmosphere that you guys have. Because my understanding, obviously, you, your brother Josh, Luke, you all hunt. But then Lexi was also like she kind of bragged on herself a little bit, but like it seems like everybody is in on this. And then you've got guys like Tyler who come down as a very close friend of the family to come hunt. So like put me in that atmosphere. Like what is that like?
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said, it's like our favorite time of the year anytime we get to go down to the ranch, no matter who it might be with. But yeah, I mean, the whole family does it. The women are kind of they're kind of falling off as far as the hunting side goes. That I don't know. I think like my mom's always been like a big trophy hunter. Like she doesn't want to go out and just
Yeah. Okay.
she'd go out, and she's rifle hunting, so it was a lot easier. And she'd shoot a buck and then be done for the year. And so she's always kind of done that. But as she's gotten older, she, for some reason, just doesn't. I don't know. She's gotten a little soft when it comes to hunting. And then same thing with Kate, my brother's wife. And then same thing with Lexi. Lexi's like, oh, I just don't care to do it. Like it's sad and all this stuff. So, but my wife, she's gotten into it. She had never hunted before we had met.
nice.
And she's pretty ate up with it. So I'm trying to get her right now to get a bow and start shooting that. I think she wants to. So we'll see. But yeah, I mean the deer camp, it's the best time, man. It's like, like I said, it's family and friends. So it's a lot of people that are, like-minded and have the same values as us. And it's a good time to just get down there and enjoy each other's company, enjoy God's creation. And especially on the outdoor side with as far as the page goes, like that's what we want the whole thing to be about. Like we want, like, and I think we've done a good job at making that, making a point in that. But we really just want people to get, like, you don't have to go hunt, I mean, we really just want people to get outdoors and enjoy their family, enjoy their friends, enjoy God's creation. And that's genuinely where at like the ranch when we're at deer camp, it's just like nothing else is on our mind but hanging out with the people that are there and hunting and having a good time.
Yeah.
100%.
Well, even when it's not successful, like just coming back, like for us, we have a family cabin and we hunt some national forest that's around it. And, you come back to the cabin, it's like, I wonder what stories people are going to have for us. And like 99% of the time, it's not, yeah, I've got a deer in the back of the truck or I've got a deer hanging in the garage. It's like, oh yeah, one skirted me here. This one did this. I messed up and dropped my release out of the tree. Like it's something, there's always a story. And like, it's one of my favorite things, man, the camaraderie of it, getting to just spend time with people. And like you said, pursuing something together in God's creation, it's so special. And so I just always love hearing other people's experiences with their deer camp. I was never a college athlete. Obviously, I worked with a lot of college athletes, but I didn't get that like locker room camaraderie brotherhood thing in college. And so like for me, I feel like deer camp is my locker room. It's like that's where the guys go. And like we're gonna mess with each other, we're gonna tease each other, but like at the end of the day, it's like it's all out of love and we're just having a great time together. Well, Jared, we want to be very respectful of your time. We appreciate you coming on here and talking to us about everything, man. Your upbringing, Los Senderos, kind of what you're doing with Dude Perfect.
All right. Yeah, that's a wrap for episode 16. And I hope y'all are getting out in creation.
Hey, remember, enjoy the creation, praise the creator. We'll see you next time.
Yep. Peace.